Welcome back to another session in the lab. Today we will be looking at our most important aspect, most important part of any song. It is the core of the song. It is called the chorus. Now, just because it sounds like chord, that's not the reason it got its name. But the chorus is the most important part of the song because it's the part that people remember. Whenever someone says, "Hey, have you heard the song?" They're usually going to start singing the chorus, not the bridge or the pre-chorus. They usually end up singing the chorus. So a chorus has to be a couple of things. It has to be catchy. It has to be something that people can easily remember. And so that means to make it catchy, we have to make it a bit repetitive. If it's changing every single moment, it becomes a bit complex and people won't be able to remember it, right? So it has to be catchy. It has to be the peak of energy in the song. That means it has to have a good amount of energy. You can't have other parts that have more energy than the chorus, except maybe the dance break, because it's like, yeah, people trying to get some moves going on. So generally, it would be the highest, but you can also have a dance break that's just as high or even higher. Yeah, so it has to be catchy, it has to be a little bit repetitive, it has to be the peak of the song, it has to be something people will remember. And so that's how you set up a good chorus. But the main thing, simply put, is focus on the energy. It has to be the peak point of energy in the song. All right. So we're gonna spend a bit of time here because it's quite important. And the reason you spend a lot of time is because you're listening to a lot of different sounds and making sure you get something that's good. Don't be so caught up on like, oh, it has to be this, has to be this sound. No, you just make a decision and go with it. The more decisions you make and the further along you go with it, the more vision comes to life. So you have a vision for the chorus. It's hard to really see it now. It's a little bit obscure. It's a bit unclear. But the further we go along, it becomes clear and it unravels itself to us. So enough talking. Get into the lab. Click on BandLab Sounds. So first up, we need to decide on what genre we want. I'm just going to go straight to use my filter. I'm feeling like some pop. Give me some pop as my genre. And for some character, I like it bright. Let's have some bright pop. Let's see what they got for me. Classic synth wave. All right, let's go for it. Let's see what this is. All right, awesome. Now notice right here, it says E minor and it says 113. That means we got 113 BPM and E minor. So if I drag this in, these two things over here be my BPM and my key will be set up, okay? So I'm gonna drag it in, watch what happens. Yes, I want to set my project key to E minor. All right, let me push this here to my first bar. It's already taking up 8 bars, and that's okay because we want our intro to last for 16 bars, and then our chorus will last from bar 17 to 25, so for another 8 bars. Okay, so in total we have 16 plus 8, we got 24 bars. All right, let's see what it sounds like. Nice. Now, something we're gonna change. We know that we need our basic elements. We need our beat, we need our midsection, which is like our synths. We need a lead line, we need some effects, we need a bass, all right? But now, whenever you bring in a lot of tracks, you've automatically increased the energy level of your song. Whenever you have many tracks, you've increased the energy level. And if you bring in your beat, you have brought your energy level where it needs to be. It's harder for it to get much higher than that. So what we're going to do is, since we want our chorus to be the peak of energy, we're not going to bring in our beat in the beginning. We're going to bring in our beat later on, okay? So delay your beat until the chorus so that you can really make that energy pop. You can give it that peak, all right? So usually we start with our beat and our bass, but for now, we're going to delay our beat to later on. So in fact, right now, I'm starting with my synth. I'm starting my midsection. Some nice sauce. Some nice bass for that sauce. All right, let's look for some. Let me give it a small element of a beat. So not the main thing. So when you think of a beat, the two things that really give it that drive, that energy, are the kick and the snare. So that and the snare. Ka, ka, ka. When you get that, that's when you're really bringing the beat in, all right? So right now I'm just going to focus on some hi-hats. Let's see what we can get. Okay, that's interesting. Let's see this one. All right, a lot of different sounds. Let me work with the first one. I'm going to bring that in after 4 beats. Sorry, over there. Let's see what that sounds like. Beautiful. All right, so I'm going to drag that out. So if I just pinch it out, boom, drag it right there. Let me pinch it back in. I like it pinching it in and out mainly so I can see the beats. If I can see the beats, I'm happy. I just want to see 4 beats. It keeps my life simple. If I zoom in too much and I get all these 4.3, 4.4, that's getting really into the details. You don't want that. Just keep 4 beats, each ticker symbol. All right, so we've got some hi-hats, a small aspect of our beat that is not really our full energy beat. Now I need a slight, let's look for some bass. All right, once again, so I'm paying attention to my key, E minor. Let's see what this sounds like. Yeah, that's good. I already like it. All right. Boom. So after 4 bars, so 5, 6, 7, 8. So it starts at bar 9. Let's see what it sounds like. Okay. Ooh. Woo. I love it. All right, that sounds pretty good. All right, so I've got some bass. So I keep referring to this synth as the bass. I mean, it's like the basis, like it's the foundation right now. So I've got my synth. I've got some hi-hats to just give a little bit of drive. I've got synth bass. I need a lead line. Let's see what you got. Does this pack have some lead? No samples found. All right, that's fine. Let's do this. We're going to go to, click my sounds. Let me get out of here. And now out of my packs, I'm going to go to my loops. And if you can use your filter here, your life will be made so much easier. Because look, if I scan through all of this, it's just going to keep going. It's going to keep going. What am I looking for? I don't know. Even the computer doesn't know what I'm looking for. But I'm just going to click my filter and I got all these options. So these are this is a different filter from the filter of your packs. Your packs had 2 options, character and genre. Let me minimize that so you can see, character and genre. But my loops section has a lot more. Now, the first thing that's most important is you want to know what you're looking for. So we're looking for some lead. Here's lead over here. And you can also, if you know what else can work as a lead, many things can work as a lead. You can also have strings that work as a lead or a main melody. You can have synth that works as that. Guitar, voice, brass, woodwinds. You can have so many different things. You just need to know the alternatives, all right? So right now I'm just keeping it straightforward, looking for a lead. And then let me go down, let me minimize this. This is where it's important, your key. If you don't set your key, you'll end up with so many selections that are irrelevant because your key is E minor. Just the same way when someone is singing in a choir and there's someone is singing off key, it doesn't sound good because they're not singing aligned with everybody else. All right, so make sure you have your key. I'm in the key of E minor, so I'm going to click E and minor. Now, all the options that come out of that will be relevant to the song that we are creating. Use your filters. They're so helpful. They're so helpful. And if you know how to do it, you have a superpower because you can move quick. All right, so I'm looking for an interesting lead line. Not really. That's very trap-like. Let's see what else we got. Oh, what's this lead? Oh. This one has a lot of space in it. Let me bring it in early. Then we can climax it a lot easier. Let's see that. See, I'm not fighting. I'm not trying to be like, oh, does it sound right? It's like, it works because it's in the right key. It's in E minor. And so it makes my life so much easier. All right, so far we've got all of this. Let's do some labeling. So we got some synth over here. We got some hi-hats so that we just don't get confused with what is on our tracks. We got some synth bass. Oh, right here, synth bass. And then we got our lead. Now I need some effects just to help give it a bit of a pop. So let's see. I'm going to now click another section. Instead of loops, I'm going to go to my one shot. And I'm going to use my filter. What am I looking for? I'm looking for some effects. Look, 5,791 options. I ain't got time to scroll through all of that. Let me look for my key in the key of E minor. Let's see how many options I'm left with. Click here. Yeah, 2 options from 5,000 to 2. Thank you. That's weird and interesting. I'm going to work with it. All right, let's see what we got here. It's a bit too long, so I'll probably Alright, yeah, let me shorten it backwards. I like the first half of it. So I'll make it 4 bars long. Wait. Doesn't snap to grid. You gotta snap it to the grid, people. All right, there. Let's shorten it out. So that sounds like over there. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's cool. That works as a good effect. Let me see if I can stack some effects just to make it a little bit more interesting. So let's go to loops. Let's see if I can go instruments. So I'm going to go lead and effects in the same filter. Now look at that, I have 3 options. Let's see what they're giving me. Alright, we got some Bhangra. Bollywood music. This is interesting. Yes! Yes, that is what we need. Not the whole thing, just the part where it's like, there was like a drop off. The Hey Jabe. Where's that? Wait, let me listen. Solo it out. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. All right, yeah, I can work with that right over. Let me just sync it here. So I think that's comes in somewhere here. Ooh, let me slice that. Press S, slice that off, cut that off over there. I just want a bit of it. Yes. And then I'll slice that there, get rid of everything else. So what I'm left with is this. Yes, that's proper. All right, let's bring that in over here. So that's about what, 1, 2, 3 bars long. That's fine. Let's see what that sounds like in context. Okay, I think, let me see, can I bring in a little bit more? I've extended a little bit back, let's see. Let me solo that, let me move my face so you can see what I'm clicking. I'm clicking the S. Yeah, that's fine. 4 bars works better. Okay, now with that, I need to bring in my chorus, but now we're going to use a simple technique called subtraction. Now subtraction is just when you're removing a slight aspect of it, so that a slight aspect of some tracks, so that other tracks can shine. Okay, and when you subtract, you're going to lower the energy, but when you lower the energy, it gives a great opportunity to boost it higher than it was before. Okay, so I'm going to reduce my synth for these, let's see, the last 2 bars, so that that Hey Jabe can shine. Let's see that. Perfect. All right, so you can see those instruments are no longer there, and then I'm gonna bring in a strong beat later, right in this chorus, right after that dip, so that the energy is there. So let me copy and paste this. Now here's a quick shortcut. Put your playhead where you want to paste your track. So click here on your track. I'm using a Mac, so Command C, but Windows is Control C. Click that and then Control V. Just simple copy paste, and it automatically pastes it in front of your playhead. Change the track, do the same thing, Control C, Control V. Same thing here, Control C, Control V. And for the lead, this lead had a lot of space. It was good for an intro, but I think I'm gonna bump it up a little bit. So where was it? It was in my loops. So I need to remove effects because that's how I got that Bhangra thing. Let's see, where was it? This is why it's important to write these things down. So it's called lead loop. So yeah, I could easily just write it here. Lead loop. Then click my BandLab sounds. See, that was the one. Now listen to that. That has a lot of drive. That has a lot of energy right there. Let's bring it in. Let's see what that sounds like. Oh yes, that is right. But now it's lacking. It's lacking because we don't yet have our beat. All right, so I'm going back to my packs. Let's look for some beats here. Now, usually not every pack always has a selection called beat. All right, it might have different aspects of the beat, like a kick and a snare. You just have to know what those sound like. A kick is the the snare is a ka 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 ka. The hi-hats are the all right, so you just need to know how to be able to stack those onto each other, and you make a beat. All you generally need is just a kick and a snare. So do ka If you have those, you have a legitimate beat, okay? So I'm gonna bring in, let's see, let's look for a beat. All right, so they already got something. Let's see this here. Yeah, look at that beat. Yeah, that's a perfect beat right there. Okay. These are all really good options. Let's see, this one. All right, so I found this one. I like this one. It has a bit of hi-hats, and that's fine. We can just stack our hi-hats on top of each other. Just we don't want it to be too busy. So let me drag that in over here. Now let me label this. This is gonna be my effects 1. This is gonna be my effects 2. And then right down here is my beat. So it's organized and I know where to go when I'm looking for something. All right, so let's see what that sounds like with my beat there. All right, so I have to organize it, take it there. Yeah. All right. Hijab, yes, okay. I can definitely see we can bring in that hijabe back. Let me just trim off the ends. We only want it to be 8 bars long. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So at the end of bar 24, just before bar 25 begins. So I'm pretty much dragging it to 25, but 25 has not begun. Don't let that confuse you. All right, so I'm going to drag all that there. And then also drag on my beat. And now I just want that hijabe, because it can definitely come in really nicely. Let's solo this one more time. Let's see what's going on here. So we need just those 2 bars. Slice that there. And that should now sound all right. Yes. All right, perfect. Now I'm going to do the same thing here. Copy that and bring it towards the end so we have a solid ending. I could actually do some more subtraction here. Let's see if I subtract these. See how that sounds when it ends. Okay, let me drag this one here. All right, I think that works. All right, guys, let's listen to this thing from the beginning. So I've stacked up I've stacked up some effects. I've brought in my beat later on in the chorus. And yeah, let's see if this is something that's memorable, if it's catchy, if it's something that has the peak energy when the chorus comes in, and if it's unique. Let's check it out from the top. Jace has that drive, man. Woo, it's sweet. Oh. Woo! All right, that was something. That was something. I'm gonna post that on BandLab on a private account, and I'm gonna sell it for a couple $100. All right, that's good. Now, I'm just having fun with it. It's as simple as having fun. You have to have fun with it as well. Now, please, don't go ahead and just copy everything that I've done. Don't just use the exact same sounds that I've used, the same synth wave sound. There's so many different sounds. You need to be creative and not just copy what I've done, or else it's like you've not really explored. And if you don't explore, you won't be able to learn. You gotta explore, learn, and have fun. Okay, so don't copy the sounds that I've used, but copy the thinking that I've used. The way I've been thinking is I need to have an energy peak. I need to have an intro that builds up. I need to delay my beat until the chorus so I can really bring in that energy. I've stacked up some effects to make it interesting. You can do that. You can stack up some beats. You can stack up a lot of stuff. But the point is, be unique. Don't just copy the same sounds, the same, exactly. Yeah, don't just copy the same sounds that I've used, and feel free to explore. To explore different genres. So you don't have to use a synthwave. You can, let's see what other genres they got. So if I go back to my packs, right over here, feel free to use some electronic, use some EDM, use some funk, use some reggae, some disco. That you've got so many options, okay? So don't just copy what I have, otherwise I will be very unimpressed and a little bit disappointed. Have fun with it and make something beautiful, all right? And just remember, your chorus needs to be the peak. It needs to be where everything reaches to, and it needs to be memorable and catchy. All right, so have fun with it. There's so much you can do here. Can't wait to see what you make. See you in the next one.